Welcome to 229 here to the Topic of the Week video. And this week, I think it's high time we get around to the Christmas topics. This month's theme is Kingdom Hearts, and the first topic was submitted by Jay Super on the Discord, and her topic is: what worlds do you want to see in future Kingdom Hearts games that we haven't seen yet? Would you want to see more live-action worlds like the Pirates of the Caribbean world? There are a lot of worlds that Kingdom Hearts hasn't gotten to. Like, there's so much Disney Kingdom Hearts hasn't brought in that, shoot, there's probably a list a mile long that you could make of different stuff that they could bring in. And there are a number of ones that I would love to see brought in. One is definitely Princess and the Frog. I mean, that movie did not get enough love, and it would be great to see it get some recognition in Kingdom Hearts. I mean, unfortunately, it was one of the last, 2D movies, so it's like, it'd be nice to see it brought in, given some respect in Kingdom Hearts, especially because Disney didn't give it enough love. Another one I want to see is I want to see them go back to Lilo and Stitch. Now, they did Lilo and Stitch in A Birth by Sleep. However, they only covered the beginning part of it. Literally, just the opening part of the movie is what they covered, which is out in space. The rest of the movie, because that part of the game ends when Stitch escapes. I would actually love to see them, I'd love to see the Wayfinder trio go back and sort of finish out Lilo and Stitch. Like, see them go to Earth and, go to Hawaii and actually do, finish out the story. And it'd be great to bring in the Destiny Island trio. To have Sora, Riku, and Kairi go there because, well, they grew up in the tropics, so I thought that would be cool. And I know that was the first thing when I was playing Birth by Sleep. That was one of the first things I thought. I was just like, I want to go back to the Lilo and Stitch. I want to finish this. I'd also love to see Treasure Planet and Atlantis, two movies that, again, don't really get as much love as they really should. And I think they could do so much cool stuff with them in Kingdom Hearts. Because can you imagine, in Atlantis? Can you imagine, going on one of those, flying Atlantis things and flying around on those? Oh, it could be like the light cycle sections in Tron, but, I mean, probably a little more flying around. A little bit freer than just that. But, I mean, there's stuff that they can do with that, and it'd be really cool. It'd be also really cool if we could do Jim in Treasure Planet has that, what was it, like a rocket board thing with the sail? It'd be cool if you could run around something like that too. And those are criminally, under-recognized movies. The Emperor's New Groove is another one I think would be absolutely great to bring in. That is such a great movie. Krunk in Kingdom Hearts. And honestly, it'd be hilarious to see Yzma, teaming up with, the villains, or whatever the villains are going to be for, the next saga of games. Especially since everything in Emperor's New Groove is so absurd and so ridiculous and funny. And it'd be funny to have, serious villains come in.
Well, you got me. By all accounts, it doesn't make sense.
I mean, that's a bit of the charm when it comes to some of this stuff, especially when you had, the organization members come in, and they would walk in straight, being totally serious, and you'd have them walk into these totally goofy, cartoony movies. I'd also like to see them do The Great Mouse Detective. I grew up loving The Great Mouse Detective, and I just think it would be really cool. I mean, I don't know if they would, shrink them down normally, because you have the mice, are actually they're tiny, and you have the humans. So I don't know if they would be shrunk down or whatever for that. But I don't know how they would implement it totally. But I love The Great Mouse Detective, and I'd love to see that incorporated into Kingdom Hearts. And also the old Robin Hood movie, where Robin Hood was a fox. It says, it'd be really cool. That was a movie I watched in my childhood, so I would absolutely love to see that in Kingdom Hearts. And it'd be cool to, do the Robin Hood storyline, but with Kingdom Hearts characters. They could even incorporate stuff that's not like just movies, but you know, stuff like Mickey and the Beanstalk or the Prince and the Pauper storyline. I mean, that stuff could also be done in like as just various adventures Mickey had been on, you know, pre-Birth by Sleep. That would be kind of interesting. Not entirely sure how they would incorporate that. And the Musketeers story in Dream Drop Distance did raise some questions in terms of the continuity. I'd like some answers on that one. But, I mean, those would be interesting ideas, I think, that they can incorporate. And then they could also use this as an opportunity to improve stories and movies that would probably need a bit of a boost. Much like they did with Nightmare Before Christmas. Actually taking a story that was pretty sloppily written and very much improving it. Like, they actually made Jack and Sally have a great relationship. Oh my gosh, it was one of the biggest criticisms I had of the actual movie. And they actually made it better. They made me like The Nightmare Before Christmas. I mean, the songs are good in the movie, but the writing is pretty meh. But, like, they could bring in stuff, you know, especially older movies, like The Sword and the Stone. You know, you could bring that in, because The Sword and the Stone, I mean, I actually recently, fairly recently, rewatched that movie, since I hadn't seen it since I was a little kid. And the whole movie is just the misadventures of Arthur and Merlin. And then he picks up the sword and they're like, well, you're king now. It's a rather underwhelming movie that doesn't really have a plot. But if you bring in the Heartless and you've got actual bad guys, you could actually formulate a plot around that. You could really improve the story of the movie by actually giving it a plot, because the movie doesn't really have a plot. I mean, shoot, you could even have like when you're fighting the boss at the end of the world, you could have Arthur pull out the sword and the stone to help fight, and then that's when he pulls it out instead of it just being kind of a happenstance thing at the end of the movie. I mean, there's actually stuff you could really do with that to make it... It's like, I like Merlin, and Merlin's been a part of Kingdom Hearts since forever. So I'd love it if they went back and they actually fleshed out what is, frankly, a movie that could have been more interesting if it actually had a plot. Now, I know this might be a little weird, but Merlin does have time-traveling powers, so I'm sure that they could work this in somehow in terms of the overall continuity. But, yeah, I mean, there's something that you can do with that in terms of, you know, fixing that. But another big one when it comes to fixing is The Black Cauldron. Kind of an infamous movie that Disney made, and yeah, it was a movie that was in development hell for a long time. When it came out, it was not good. And I actually watched it, and there's some good things in it. It just feels like a very confused movie. When it had like a bajillion writers on it, you can tell it was a movie that had no coherent vision. And it does seem like a really poor adaptation of the actual books that it's based on. I think it was the Chronicles of Prydain. But bringing in the movie to Kingdom Hearts, you can cut out all the superficial characters. You can actually just cut it down to the main guy. I don't remember the name. It has been a little bit of a while since I've actually seen the movie. Then there was the girl Eluin. You know, she's the princess, you know, character. Then you got the magic like pig thing, and then you got the Horn King as the villain. You keep the Horn King, keep the main. Is it Taran? I believe. But you know, keep him. Keep the princess girl, and actually just have the story with them fighting the Horn King. Cutting out the superfluous characters and just focusing on the main ones, you could actually develop them and give them, even in just that world, in the relatively short amount of time you would spend in it, give them an arc that actually works. You can cut out so much of that movie, it doesn't really matter. You could actually really make The Black Cauldron work. It's a movie that's a movie that I think deserves an actual remake, because you could make it work, just make it good. But I would love to see it in Kingdom Hearts, especially the Horn King is such a terrifying villain. Like, I would love to see him in Kingdom Hearts. He's definitely a character that works well with the whole theme of fighting the darkness, because the Horde King is pretty dark. Another movie that I think would actually really benefit from this is Brave. Now, Brave isn't like a horrible movie, but when I watched it, I just felt bored. I didn't really feel engaged in it, and Merida was... I don't want to say Merida was like horrible, but I never really got attached to Merida. She was funny with her like ridiculous Scottish accent. But I think if you actually took the characters and then you incorporated in the Kingdom Hearts plot, you know, fighting the Heartless and the Darkness and all that jazz, I think that would actually be cool, and having Merida as part of your team would be pretty sweet. Especially having Merida's dad. I'd love to have Merida's dad on the team. That would be great too. But yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, I don't really care about the actual main plot. I mean, you'd have to incorporate the main plot of like her mom being turned into a bear, but like just add Kingdom Hearts, because I mean, as we've seen with stuff like with Nightmare Before Christmas, adding Kingdom Hearts can take stuff that I honestly thought wasn't that great and really improve it. And I'd love to see more 3D animated movies, because it actually does work really well transitioning to a video game. I mean, you have movies like The Incredibles. Can you imagine playing The Incredibles with The Incredibles as part of your team? That would be really entertaining. I mean, it would actually be probably a lot like Big Hero 6, you know, especially when it is superheroes, but different types. In fact, you could actually like draw parallels and compare and contrast the Big Hero 6 to The Incredibles, because The Incredibles are very much like classic, old school comic book heroes. And then you've got the Big Hero 6 are very much like modern heroes. So I think it'd be really cool to like compare and contrast, and you can have like Sora be like, yeah, I've been a hero before. And it would be hilarious to see them do all these crazy powers and be like, are you supers? Oh, it could be entertaining, it could be really good. I'd also like to see Meet the Robinsons. I wouldn't even say that I really love the movie. I enjoyed it, but I do think that you know, especially when you look at like the core message of the movie, I mean, I think you could definitely apply this to some of the Kingdom Hearts characters. And it's an interesting movie, especially when you get to all the future stuff. There's so much cool stuff you can do with like video game stuff and level design when it comes to all the future technology that they have in the movie. And the T-Rex. He's got big heads and tiny arms. Also, WALL-E. Now, I do admit, WALL-E is one of my favorite movies ever, but it would actually be really cool to, you know, play with WALL-E. Like, you could be on the sort of the wrecked Earth with all the trash everywhere, and then you could go onto the space station where it's all like nice and sleek. Oh my gosh, it's like there's so much cool stuff, especially when you see what they've done with movies like Monsters Inc. and, you know, Toy Story, and you see what they did with that, and be like, oh my gosh, it's like the possibilities for bringing in these movies. And oh, Moana. Moana would be great, especially for the Destiny Island trio. It's just like, yeah, that works so perfectly, especially building a boat. Come on. That would be great if they actually build the boat. I still want to see them actually build the boat. And it'd be perfect for like a setting for them. It'd be great if you had Sora, Riku, and Kairi all going to the Moana world. There's a lot of cool stuff you can do with that. I do think it would be interesting to see what plot they would bring up with Kingdom Hearts and how they would tie Moana into that. Because then you would get to like the very end, and okay, I won't spoil Moana, but like then you could actually like incorporate the ending of the movie. And it would be really cool, and I wonder if they could it would actually be really cool if they did that like the Pirates of the Caribbean world, where you had like the sea and you go and you like sail between the you know, the different areas, and you know, it'd be like actually have it set like an actual map. That would be pretty cool. And given what we've seen with Kingdom Hearts 3 and what's now possible with the worlds, I'd actually like to see some, in some cases, like expansions of what we've already seen, particularly with Destiny Island. Because we've always been on the main island, which that makes sense. That was the first location in the first game. It's iconic to the series, very important to the series. But then we know that there's a mainland with the town where everyone actually lives. And we've seen brief bits of that, like in Kingdom Hearts 2. And we know that's where everyone actually lives. So I would love to actually have Destiny Islands include the main island that we've seen, and then the mainland. I'd love to be able to go there. Like, if it was set up like the Pirates of the Caribbean world where you have the island, then you can like traverse the water to actually go to the mainland. And honestly, this would be a great opportunity to actually show us their freaking parents. Like, they make mentions of Sora, Riku's, and Kairi's parents, and it's like, I would like to actually see them. Like, you can't hide them forever no more. You can't just reference them multiple times across the series and then not actually show them to us. And I'd also like to see the main trio like interact with them. Like, I'd like to see Sora, Riku, and Kairi actually interact with their own families. That would be kind of cool. Now, to sort of finish this off, bringing up the last part of the topic, in terms of live action worlds, I would be totally down to see more live action worlds. Now, I was kind of looking over like a lot of the live action Disney movies, and there's a lot of them that just wouldn't work. I mean, I think the Sorcerer's Apprentice movie, the one with Nick Cage, I think that could actually work. That's got a neat story, and it's also got, all the magic and stuff, so Kingdom Hearts would fit right into that. It would also be interesting because it is heavily inspired by, like, the Sorcerer's Apprentice stuff, the stuff that we've already seen with Mickey, and, what's his name, the big wizard guy? Gosh, his name, Yensid. It's Disney spelled backwards. But I think that would actually be kind of an interesting world to go to. And the Pirates of the Caribbean world in Kingdom Hearts 3 really shows that they figured out how to make this work. Because you go back to Kingdom Hearts 2 when you see this, like, what was pretty photorealistic for the time. They tried to make it look more realistic and less cartoonish like everything else. And then you have these bright cartoon characters just standing there, and it's jarring at first, but you do end up getting used to it. But like really, when you compare that to that Pirates of the Caribbean world in Kingdom Hearts 2 to Pirates of the Caribbean in Kingdom Hearts 3, the way they stylized Sora, Donald, and Goofy in that really made them look like they fit. They didn't fundamentally change them, but the clothing that they put them in, the way they styled them, they made them look a little bit more like dirty, because they didn't look so bright and clean when they're in that world, and it really made it feel like it fit. It's amazing. It's actually a great, artistic accomplishment to conquer the differences between the more realistic art styles compared to the anime cartoony art styles from Kingdom Hearts and Disney characters. So yeah, I mean, I definitely would like to see more of that, and I think they have figured out how to make it work. It would just be choosing the ones that could work. Because they've done Tron and Tron Legacy. I'd love to see the return to Tron Legacy. And if we're not going to get the actual sequel that Tron Legacy hinted at, I would be totally fine with getting that in Kingdom Hearts. Like, if we got a continuation from Tron Legacy, because we saw Tron Legacy in Dream Drop Distance. Like, if that world came back, I'd like to see them continue that to actually see what happens. Because that's because Tron Legacy dropped the whole, the Flynn lives, bit at the end, and it's just like, okay, are we gonna go back? Are we gonna see more of them? No, no. But I'd love to see more of that, and I'm sure there's a lot of like worlds that they could actually really make work. And yeah, if they have a movie, a live action Disney movie that couldn't work with Kingdom Hearts characters, absolutely, by all means, I would love that. So yeah, that's pretty much the list of the stuff that I wanted to talk about. So yeah, that's about it for this topic. If you want to submit a topic to me, you can comment down below. If you're on YouTube, if you're on Tumblr, send me an ask and put topic : then whatever topic you want me to talk about. Or if you're on the Discord, you can go into the topic submissions channel and submit a topic there. Just make sure to follow the rules that I'll be posting down below. Now, if you want to watch last week's topic video, you can check that out here. If you want to watch next week's topic video, you can check that out here when I get that done. So what are some worlds that you would like to see in Kingdom Hearts, especially live action ones? Please comment below, and thank you for watching.